If you're sick of modern dating, take a walk with me. I receive comments and questions from people just like you every day. You're someone who finds yourself struggling in most of your relationships. And you might find yourself saying things like, I just want to find somebody that's going to make me happy. I just love love. Everyone I date is avoidant. Why does this always happen to me? These people shouldn't even be dating because they're just going out there hurting people. And all of those statements are true and valid to you. And this is why you hear people say, if you want things to be different, then you have to be different. You have to be the change that you want to see in the world. Or in this case, your relationships. You see, there's a pattern that you learned and developed when you were younger when it comes to relating to other people and building relationships with them. And that's going to be rooted in the level of care that you've received from your parents, caregivers, friends, and family. You see, when you're younger, you don't have an alternative frame of reference. So everything that you see, you're seeing for the first time, and you think that that's what's normal for you. When you're a kid, you're not thinking, hey, this person's being really inconsistent with me. Instead, you turn that inconsistency inward and say, I must have done something wrong, therefore I'm bad. And each one of you is going to have your own version of this in some way, shape, or form. And if you grew up with a secure attachment style, that's awesome. That's like starting off life on second base. And if you have an insecure attachment, then there's things that happened or didn't happen in your life that influence the way that you are today and how you relate to other people and how you build your relationships. And none of this is blaming you, and you're not in trouble for anything. But this is an acknowledgement or an awareness of the thoughts, feelings, and emotions that were programmed into you. You might believe things about yourself like, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not capable, I can't do this. You might find yourself in a position where you're doing so much for other people, but you're not getting that reciprocated back to you. And that lack of reciprocation can turn into anger, frustration, and resentment. And if you take a step back and look at your past relationships, you're going to see a pattern. And if you zoom out just a little bit more, you might be able to see that you're on a merry-go-round or inside of a loop. You might believe that love is something that you have to fight for, that you only receive acceptance and acknowledgement for who you are as a person by doing things for other people. But then you find yourself not doing the things for yourself. So instead of getting angry and resentful, can you in this moment take a step back, assess and dissect the relationships that you've had in the past, and acknowledge that there are certain behaviors that you just don't like in relationships? And this is where I want you to take out a piece of paper and write down your goals, values, standards, and boundaries for a relationship with you. And this is where so many of us struggle because we want somebody else to fix the problem because it's obviously their fault that things aren't going well. And the thing that we have to remember is that each of us is playing a role in that relationship. And so can you take ownership and responsibility for your part in that relationship? Can you accept that you choose and select people that are familiar to you? And in the beginning, for the first 3 months, that energy might feel amazing or euphoric. They might feel like a twin flame or a soulmate. And it's so dynamic because it's giving you exactly what you experienced when you were younger. That same level of inconsistency that you received from a parent or a caregiver. And what I want you to take away from this video is that by no means are you or anyone else a lost cause. Your attachment style isn't permanent, and with some work, you can become more securely attached within your relationships. But one of the first things you have to do is release others from blame so that you can begin to set yourself free. And growing beyond those thoughts, feelings, and emotions may seem like an impossible challenge. And you'll hear people in the personal development space tell this story often about the baby elephant that's tied to a post with a tiny string. And as they grow up and they grow older, they never move beyond that tiny string, even though they could very easily rip not only the string, but the post out of the ground. And what I'm telling you is it's time to yank that string and pull that post out of the ground. No one else is going to come and do it for you.